So today's topic is very important for change management, and even if you don't want to think about change management, this topic, which is motivating others to change, um, because it is linked with motivation, and when we are working with other people, many times we have to take their support on various activities. We need to ask them to do some things which sometimes they would want to do, and other times maybe we would want to convince them how important they are, and so on. So for those reasons, motivation is, generally speaking, is an important topic in life, generally speaking. Motivating yourself, motivating other people, and so on. You can think the way you want to think about motivation. And why today's topic is very important is because it is talking about motivation, yes, but it is talking about motivating others, other people, not us, others. So one part is motivating others. When we are talking about others, you can compare it with the techniques and the difficulties you go through when you are motivating yourself. So even when we want to do something, we want to incorporate a new habit in our lifestyle, we want to make any type of adjustment in our own behavior or daily activities, no matter how small it is. When we are trying to change our own behavior, many times it is difficult, and you have to reflect in your own life, and you will find many things which you want to change, which you know are important for you, which you know that they will benefit you if you will bring that change in yourself, and you are convinced all those things are there, but still, and you sometimes you cannot keep up with the change. Even if you want to change yourself, it becomes very hard. Like, for example, I can give you, as I'm reflecting, thinking about my own life, one thing which I would want to do is maybe get involved in more physical activities, maybe go to gym and build some body and that type of thing. Yes. So mentally I'm motivated enough to do it, but then I'm not really, I know the importance of it, health benefits and all the things which are linked with more physical exercises, but still somehow I'm not doing it as much as I would want to do. There are many other things which makes me stop. So now in my mind I am motivated, I think it is important, I have no excuse per se. Of course I can make time if I really want, and I do want it, but still I'm unable to do it consistently. Maybe one off, you can do it maybe once a week or something like that, but to do it again and again repeatedly, I personally speaking, this is my example, you might relate with this, you might not relate with this, but personally speaking, that is, although I'm motivated to bring that change, sometimes I'm unable to do it. Why is that? When I'm convinced that that activity, in this case physical exercise, is important for me, there is a lot of literature on it, we know that it is important, but I'm not doing it as much as I would want to. Why that happens? Now you have to reflect in your own life. What are those things which you want to change in your life? Can be a simple thing, small thing, can be anything at your home, related with school, related with work, related with friends, family, anything, doesn't really matter. You have to think about something which you want to change, and then you are not able to change it. What happens there? What stops you? Like I gave you one example of physical exercise. Can anyone think of any example which they want to change and maybe share with us, and then we can maybe think a little bit more together on this? That would be nice if possible.
Hello, you hearing me?
Yes, Gentles, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, as regards to change management personally, um, I try change from like soda, cut completely
Yeah.
soda and pork. So that has been going fine, but also I try like cut like belly fat as well. But that not so fine. So it's in terms of the soda, to cut off of it, you just practically have to probably find like a suitable, what I call it, substitute in the interim until you can cut off completely. So I that and also with the pork as well. So that are the strategy basically.
Very interesting, very interesting. And I can, with the soda part, I can relate very well with that because I also struggle with that. So thanks very much, Gentles, for bringing in your example. But I'm sure all of us have this type of hindrance where they know the importance of changing some activity or changing some behavior. They are motivated well enough. They know the importance, but still they cannot. Yeah. So please reflect on this, that what happens and what makes us stop, and why I am trying to discuss this is because the chapter topic is motivating others to change. So I just want to highlight the challenges which may come in this, when we are already struggling with motivating ourselves to change our habits and behavior. How we would have to frame our argument, or how should be our convincing abilities when we are trying to motivating someone else to change who is not in our control. We are in our own control to some extent, and we cannot even change our small habits like doing physical exercises, physical activity, like cutting soda. These small things we cannot many times do it. Then how challenging it would be to motivate someone else to change their behavior. It can be quite challenging. So I think if we take this approach, like first try to identify what are some things which we want to change and we are motivated to change them, but we are unable to. What are the reasons? What stops us? Generally speaking, it will help us understand human behavior, yeah, human psychology, and then ask around other people, just like I asked you guys, and Gentles give his example there. And from there, if I continue talking with him on that, I'm sure I will get more feedback, that what are the reasons, what are the things which are stopping, and all of those things. So this way, I think you should gather some knowledge on this topic, that why these things happen. When people are motivated to change, they cannot change themselves. Why that happens? And then from there, build on the knowledge that if we want to convince someone else, for example, to do physical activity, for example, to quit soda, we want to convince someone else, what challenges are going to be there. So for example, you relatability, making yourself relatable with the situation, sometimes that helps. For example, if two people, if Gentles is trying to quit soda, and let's say that in the past I have been successful in quitting soda myself, then I can maybe tell him that, okay, this is what happened. This much time it took. Yeah, these are the techniques which I used, and so on. And even after that, maybe the strategy which I adopted might not work with other friends, because everyone is different. And essentially, these are the reasons why change is hard. Essentially speaking, if you think around these topics, if someone can manage these areas, think about these things, and find some workable solutions, then maybe they will be relatively more successful than other people to manage change and so on. So this was a little background I wanted to share with you based on how I think. But of course, you should think the way it comes to you naturally. Yeah. So let's look at some of the things which the chapter is going to say. So motivating others to change. So I spend like 5-10 minutes to help you maybe think about. Of course, you know these things, but the idea is just to not just to listen to what I am saying, but to think about these things, and then what is coming to your mind, maybe share it with us, so together we can learn something around the topic. So motivating others to change. So what I'm trying to say is that motivating ourselves to change is already hard. Think how hard or how we should go about when we are going to motivate other people to change their behavior. It might be small things for you, but for someone else they can be very big things. Always be this empathy towards other people. I think that is very important when you are trying to motivate other people to change. Like for example, maybe there are some friends who will listen to this talk maybe later, or maybe right now they are in the room, and for them it is very easy to do some physical exercises, like every day they jog, every day they do different type of activities, running and so on. It's very natural for them and they don't find any difficulty. Now when I am talking about this, that I have difficulty, that I cannot do it every day or every other day, something like that. So for that person it might be difficult to understand, because it is very easy for them. And you can think about any activity like soda, quitting soda. I think I spoke about it earlier also in some session, and now Gentles also spoke about it. So it might be the case that there are friends sitting in this class, and they they don't like the taste of sodas. They don't consume it even if someone is giving it to them, and they don't find any type of addiction or craving for Pepsi or Coca-Cola or other type of these carbonated waters. For them, they might say, what is the big deal? You can quit it. It's easy. But for someone who is facing that challenge, it can be difficult. So small things which what can be a small change for you can be a very big change for someone else. Uh, this is very important to understand. Like it's like, think about A, B, C, D. We learned it when we were starting our school or growing up. We learned how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And now we can do our ABC and count and spelling and those type of things. It's very easy for us. But for a child who is just growing up, for them, it's a struggle for them. Yeah, for these small things. So having that understanding, like where the person is coming from, we might get frustrated that the child is not learning fast or something like that. and it is very simple thing why they are doing this thing. But try to reflect that maybe it is simple for you, maybe it is not simple for them. When your friends do something which you don't like, which when family members do something which you don't like, your brothers, sisters, your different relationships, your loved ones, or anyone, when they do something at work or wherever, and you don't understand why they did it, and they know better and so on, they should have behaved like this, and they should have done it like this, and so on, so forth. Please take a moment to think about this, that maybe it is very easy and it makes a lot of sense for you, but maybe for the other person it does not make that much sense. Maybe the way they are doing it is what they know. Uh, and then to change that, what they know, like they know to do certain things in a certain way, now to change that is going to take time, effort, love, respect, motivation, and then they will go back to their past behavior again and again, and you will have to bring them back again and again, and many times that is the process of change, and do have to motivate them again, and so on, so forth. So as Gentles is talking about strategy, for example, so all of these things you would have to think about, like what is your strategy. To As you are making your strategy, you have to incorporate all of these things in that, how you are going to go these things. Yeah, so can be very challenging. Yes, so please, but again, when I say can be challenging, or when I say it will be hard, I'm not trying to say that it is not possible and don't do it. Of course not. It is, you just see which method or which strategy works for you, and then you come back at it again and again with different approach, different mindset, different methodology, different strategy, whatever you want to call it. But way before you go into all of this, motivating other people to change and motivating yourself to change, you need to be very careful that how important that change is. Is it really that important? How much? Because you understand the effort which is going to go behind all of this change. There is a lot of struggle, effort, energy it will require. So if your reason is not very strong enough to change, then whenever the obstacles are going to come, and they are going to come a lot of obstacles are going to come, then it would be very easy for you to give up, because your reason is not big enough. Your reason for change should be very big. Only then you are going to fight back and resist, and all of that has to be really, really big. Yeah, if it is not. And sometimes we you know I'm thinking about my own life experiences. Sometimes we change, but it is maybe a little late. I also would like to share that timing is very important. Like, you have to change at the right time, when it is needed and when it is most appropriate. Everything in life should be done on the right time. You can do things maybe late also, and you can do it whenever. There is a saying, it is never too late. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, if someone is late, what else you are going to tell them? You are going to tell them it is never too late. That is why maybe people started saying that. But we should appreciate that, if something is done on the right time, nothing beats that, at the right time, at the right place, what is required, if that thing is done. Like to do this course, to do management of change course and the other courses you are doing, the right time to do them is now, in this semester. Of course, you can fail all of your courses and don't go to all of the final exams. You can take it in the next semester also. And when you will be taking in the next semester, we can say it is never too late. You can do it now. But now is the time. Same thing, now is the time to engage in this conversation and try to think about the things which we are trying to speak, especially if you are attending and you are here. Now is the time to do that. Of course, you can maybe listen to the recording later on, but who is going to do that? Yeah. So the timing, these things are, please think about these things very carefully. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. So this is what we are doing. Chapter number 12, motivating others to change. Yeah. This highlighted section, please pay some attention to this. There is a natural tendency to resist change. There is a natural tendency inbuilt. Yeah? Like this is the status quo for everyone, anyone, all of us, including myself, including all of you. Generally speaking, there is a natural tendency to resist change. Natural, inbuilt. So when you are trying to motivate other people, you have to think about that. Especially if it is a change. And what is change? Change is like they are doing something in the past and now you are trying to change their behavior. Like, for example, asking them to quit soda, as Gentle gave example, or asking them to maybe start some more physical activity, like I gave you the example. Yeah, so the natural tendency for them, if they are into these habits or any other habit which you want to think about, doesn't matter what habit you are thinking about. So for all these habits, there would be a natural tendency to resist change. And that is why, maybe people are not able to do it very easily and quickly, because naturally they are thinking about. Yeah. I was listening to this this podcast, I think yesterday. And very interesting pointer the person mentioned in that. I think I would like to share it with you guys. So the point was that they were saying that it is, although these are natural tendencies and all the things which we have been talking about, it boils down to the mindset. Like when any type of change is happening, or someone is asking us to change, or we are trying to change ourselves, or anything related to change, they were saying that it is linked with the mindset, how your mind looks at the change. So like generally speaking, people view change as hard, as uncomfortable, because it is going to break your routine, and change is essentially asking you to do things differently, in simple words, different from the way you are used to. So now you will not like it, generally speaking, because that is the mindset of general human beings, that the way we are doing things is the right way to do things. That is why we do the things, do that, because we think that that is the right way, generally speaking. So they were saying that it is about mindset. So if you change your mindset, like when there is some change, you look it with the lens of self-improvement or enhancing your skills or improving someone else's life, like towards improvement, towards positive, like you will gain more wisdom, you will be more knowledgeable after the change. You will gain more, like what you will gain from the change experience. If you have that type of mindset, it can be a little easier, relatively speaking. Then you might not resist it that much, because you are seeing some, at the end of the change you are maybe thinking that you will gain something from this change in terms of skill improvement, your knowledge, your competency, whatever is, maybe your health, like physical, you start physical activity, your health will improve. Or you quit soda, your health, these things are linked with health, a general well-being, a quality of life, you can call that. Chances for you to get various ailments might get low if you have a better lifestyle. Yeah. So it is about mindset, how you are viewing the change, I think. Please make note of that, or at least think about that whenever any type of change situation is coming in your life. You don't look it negatively, look at it like you will grow from this experience, you will gain more knowledge, you will improve your skills, these type of things. If you start thinking, then it can be relatively easier. So mindset, so same thing when you are trying to motivate other people, you would want to think and reflect that what is it that they desire, their mind desires or value, what are the things they value, and then pitch your motivation in the sense where their mindset goes towards that they will gain this, they will increase their knowledge, or whatever it is. Yeah, it depends on the example, what change you are thinking about. That is one strategy. Yeah. So, but all of these things which we have been talking about during the term, and the other things which we will talk about, and you will listen to the already published recordings and so on. These are not some things which you and I will just listen to them or talk about them and boom, we are changed. That is not how it is going to happen. Very rarely that is going to happen. Very, very, very rarely. That just by listening, someone would say, all right, I got this best practice, I'm going to incorporate it. I don't think so. Very rarely, if any chance. You have to practice these things in your daily life with yourself. Looking at how I started the session, that think about things which you are motivated to change but you are unable to change. What are the reasons? What is stopping you? And then use various techniques, skills explained in the book, or you listen other people talk about it. You have to use them, utilize them, practice them, and then see what happens from there. And then over a period of long time, maybe some type of advancement is going to happen. Yeah. But then earlier I was talking about timing, that people change but sometimes it is late. Like, a person who is trying to quit soda, yeah, and now is the time to quit it. Yeah. But we are not quitting. At least me and Gentles have no plans to quit it anytime soon. We are enjoying our soda pops. We are not changing although we know it is not good for health. There are many YouTube clips, there are many papers, how many sugar they put in it. We know that, but we are not quitting. What about that, let's say next 20 years, 30 years down the line, 10 years, whatever time, God forbid, you get sugar or some other sickness, and now the doctor says that you have to quit. At that time, you will quit. But that is kind of late. Yeah, it is kind of late. Kind of. It is never too late, but maybe you would have quit earlier. So what I'm trying to say, that think about the changes you want to incorporate in life. This is the line where I wanted to go eventually. And here it is. Please pay attention to this. And look in your life, what are the changes you want to incorporate? Analyze, evaluate whatever you need to do, and then try to bring those changes now, because maybe now is the time. Maybe you're already a little bit late, but now is the time. What time has gone is okay, but now is the time to bring those changes in your life. Can be anything depending on your goals, your objective, what you want to achieve in your life, from school, from work, from family, from friends, generally in life, anything, whatever your goals, objectives are. And if there are some things which you need to change in your life to meet those objectives, goals, bring those changes now, as early as possible, because you might change after years, but then it might be a little late. So timing is, I think, very important. Same is as the topic is motivating others to change. You might want to, like, think about, like, all of this thing which I am doing right now, these lines which I said a while ago. What were those? They were motivating others to change, motivating you to change. So what did I say? I say, looking at your objectives, your goals, what you desire in your life, to meet those objectives, if there are some changes you need to incorporate in your life, bring those changes now. And before that, what did I do? I spoke about some personal experiences, and Gentles helped me with his personal experience. I took one person from your side, and that soda example, and then I linked it with time, and then I linked it with maybe we will change when we have sugar or any other problem, God forbid. So this was kind of a technique to motivating others to change, yeah. But now think about it. I'm sure you would agree with the things which I say. 99%, I'm sure that the friends who are sitting in the session, they would agree that yes, we have our goals, objectives. If there are some things which we need to change in our life, we need to change those things now, so we can meet those objectives and whatever we want to achieve in life. I'm sure right now, generally speaking, if there are 20 friends sitting, more than 10 would be saying, all right, yes, it makes sense, we should do it. Maybe more. But how many people are actually going to do that? How many people have the motivation, high enough motivation, that even after our session is done, they will continue thinking about it. They will sit down, think about their goals, whatever they want to achieve, make a plan, and not just make a plan, execute it also. Because life is going to come at you. Many things are going to come at you. Like there is, after the session, or maybe even now, you are using your social media. There are different type of apps, from Instagram to, from IG to TikTok, and so many things. And then there are TV shows you want to catch, and then there are songs, and then there are friends, and there are so many other activities which are more interesting than these seemingly dry topics. They seem dry. So now you are motivated, but what can I do to motivate you in a way that you remain motivated for a longer period of time? Consistency is one thing which I spoke about. Consistency. Yes, so yes, when I would look at a couple of videos and get myself motivated in that, mind frame, and then yes, all right, I'm going for a walk or run or whatever, some physical activity. Yes, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, but what happens after that? What happens after you go back to your same routine? Yeah, that is the same thing which is going to happen when you will be the manager or other people will be your subordinate in an organization. Your ability to motivate them for a longer period of time is going to make the difference if people are going to bring those changes which you are asking them or not. Because for shorter period of time you can motivate other people, shorter period of time, yes, it's not that hard. I don't think so. Like maybe like I'm speaking now, so yes, there must be one or two friends in the session who are motivated now. Yes, we are going to do this. But it is that when you are alone, when I am not with you, when no one is with you, when you are there, it is your thoughts. Yeah. have you thought have you thought about it, like, please do this exercise, please do this, when you wake up tomorrow, what are the first thoughts which come to your mind? What are the first few thoughts which come to your mind? What happens? Do this activity. Try to make some journal out of this or so on, like when you wake up, because generally those are the things where your heart and mind is, naturally going towards. And you can reflect on this by this way, like when you have some important assignment or some important task in the morning, you wake up and then you rush towards that, because you know from last night that that is important for you. But I'm asking about an ordinary morning, a regular morning, where there are not some real engagements you have to keep. When you wake up, what happens naturally? Yeah. And then how your time goes towards those activities. Try to make some log just to understand yourself. That would help you, where your time is going, how much time you are spending on phone, how much you are spending on TV, how much you are spending on other, whatever. Yeah. I think that is important. But anyways, let me go back to the chapter. I hope you will think about these things and try to reflect on these things. And the earlier we can do this, I think the better it is. But these are some just thoughts to share. What is the best use of your time? Yeah. So look at this. There is a natural tendency to resist change. Yeah. But if you can motivate other people well and for a longer period of time, then of course it will be very useful. But now it is your job to really reflect and think about these things, like, what are the tools and techniques, and what methodologies you will have to use to do this. Because of course, easier said than done. Very easy to say. Yeah. But on the same note, very easy to say, but do not underestimate the power of the things which we say. Because the words we use, we say in our general life, like this is possible and this is not possible and this is difficult and this is easy. Other people listening, yes, but we are also listening. Our ears are also listening to what we are saying, and they are going in our subconscious mind. And then that becomes the reality of things. So yes, I said that easy to say, but still the importance, be careful of the words and things you tell others, and you eventually you are telling those things to yourself. Very important. And what other people are telling you, equally important. Yeah. So please link all of these things which I said, because they were not 100% about the chapter, which is motivating others to change, but you would have to link it with our previous discussions, and you know try to reflect, take some time. And for reflection, I don't mean that you just sit down all day and you are reflecting. Even good reflection for 10 minutes, 15 minutes is more than enough. If you just sit down at a space which you love, which is exciting space for you, it is quiet, you don't have distraction, you focus on something for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that is more than enough. That is what I mean by reflection. I'm not saying that you are like reflecting all the day. It's not that. This is an exercise 12.1. You can do it if you have time and interest. Um, like all the other exercises which are in the book, these are something that you need to look in. Page 130, this section, I think this is important. It is talking about managers' expectation, and some theoretical framework is there, like not really framework, but like terminologies like survivor syndrome and so on. Yeah, so look into these things, please. Make note of this highlighted section. Okay, reasons for resisting specific changes. Like if there are some specific changes in lifestyle, in others, in yourself, what are some of the reasons for that? Cotter and his colleague is identifying 4 main reasons why people resist change. So you would want to think about that. The self-interest is one of the main ones. People change when they see that there is some self-interest, and people resist change when it is not in their interest to change. It is very like human beings, generally speaking, are selfish beings. Yeah. Don't agree if you don't want to. I'm just sharing my line of thought. You can think the way you want. So I feel that generally speaking, human beings are selfish, and the term selfish is not a bad term at all. Selfish just means that you are doing things which are in your interest, and all of us have and uh, should have the permission to safeguard our self interest and do the things which are more interesting to us. So that is fine. Like, how many people registered in this course are like 50. How many are here? 15, 15. So those other friends who are not here, in one way we can say that they are being selfish. They are they are not coming to the session and they are doing something else. So that is fine. That is perfectly fine, because in this time we don't know what is happening in their life or how they view this course, and so many things, though so many factors are there. Or maybe they will come back and listen to the recording or something like that. So for it is in their self-interest to be somewhere else. That is why they are there. And vice versa, the friends who are sitting in the session, 16 friends, it is in their self-interest to come and sit. That is why they are here. They would not be here if they felt that it is not in their interest to come and sit. That is maybe how it is. That is the way I look at it. You need to think about this. Are people selfish or not? When people do things, are there people who do things without any type of self-interest? You would have to think about that. I have not seen any person or read about anyone who did something without any type of self-interest. And and when you are thinking about self-interest, don't just think about financial gains or material tangible gains. It can be intangible gains also. Yeah. But think about this thing. Everyone does not have to agree on this thing. Lack of interest, uh, and please remember that we are looking at reasons for resisting, why people would resist. So, and they don't trust the other party. They are going to resist the change. They don't trust. The trust is not there. They don't believe what the other person is saying. It seems a lie. Yeah. You don't feel that this is a big thing. Try to think about, I am diverting a little bit, but please allow me the liberty. Try to think about someone, some person, some friend, whoever. Try to think that they said something to you and you believed whatever they were saying. And then later on you found that that was a lie. What happened to your trust? What happened to your feeling, your emotion, maybe your personality? Maybe you used to be a person who would trust people very easily, and you were the type of person who would say that yes, generally speaking, people are nice, and generally speaking, we should trust other people, and generally speaking, but then this thing happened. Someone said something to you, maybe in some love affair or something like that, but later on you found that those were all lies. Those were just some stories. So what happened to your personality after that? Next time, are you going to be as trusting as the first time? Maybe you will, because you are just, that is the way you are. But generally speaking, people would look at their past experience, and then their future habits are dependent on their past experience. So I think this is not exactly what these paragraphs say, but they are talking about lack of trust. But I'm trying to go a little beyond what they are saying there, to make you reflect that how these past experiences shape our future behavior. A person who is very shy and very introvert, something happened to them in their life and they become extroverts, because they learn that being introvert was not in their self-interest. They paid a very big price for being introvert, and then drastically their behavior changed. It might seem drastically, like because they used to be introvert and they became extrovert, but that whole exercise where they had to go through the experience of being introvert, and then they did not benefit from that, and then they decided, if they were smart enough, they decided that there is no point of being introvert, let's go out, let's be extrovert. So what is that? That is linked with self-interest. Yeah. Even an introvert is not an introvert in a situation where they feel that being extrovert is in their self-interest. and vice versa. An extrovert is not an extrovert in situation where it is in their self-interest um, to be introvert. I think I lost train of my thought. But think about, please think about these things, that how self-interest is linked with various behaviors and so on. Yeah, lack of trust. So when you are going to be motivating other people to change before you, I think we mentioned this in one of the earlier sessions also, that before you try to motivate other people, you want to ensure that they trust you. Yeah. For any human interaction, if the other party do not trust you, it is not going to work as much as it would if other party trust you. So change is just one of many situation. In any situation, if people find you trustworthy, life becomes easier. It does not matter. It many times it does not matter if you are honest person or you are not honest. It is generally about the perception, how other people are perceiving you, because you might be honest person, but other people seem, the way you dress or the way you approach or the way you talk, they might they might feel that you are not honest person, and then they are not going to behave depending on your reality. They are going to behave depending on their perception. That is why, perception management is, these con artists, the people who come and ask for money or other type of favors on the road. Some of them are very good in how they are able to convince us that they really need it. I'm not trying to say that they are not honest, or maybe some of them are, but generally speaking, we know that many of them are, con artists also. So what they are doing is, communicating with us in a way which helps them to impact our perception towards them, how we are perceiving them. They try to hit that in their favor again. So again, it is linked with self-interest. Okay, different assessments. You can look into that. Let me read a little bit from this section. Make note of the highlighted section. Some stakeholders resist change. They assess the situation differently from those initiating the change and see more cost than benefit resulting from it. Yeah, what would be the result? Well, is the cost more than the benefits? If the cost is more than the benefit, then maybe not. In some courses, you would have done that cost benefit analysis. Yeah, cost benefit analysis. What is the cost of doing the venture and what is the benefit? Tangible cost and intangible cost, and then for benefit also, tangible benefits and intangible benefits. And then when you are making your business strategy or business venture or starting something new, you do those type of cost benefit analysis. Yes. Would like to highlight a couple of more things from this section also. Uh, so for example, this one, please pay attention to this. It is not unusual for resistance to occur even when organizational members and their managers have a shared view of the nature of the problem, because both parties have conflicting views about what should be done to resolve it. So when there are some things that you want to change, and even if in the organization people have similar views, they have shared views, shared vision, they are motivated to do the thing, they know that it is important, all of those things are there, still it can be a problem because different parties can have different views on what should be done to resolve it. One party should say it should be resolved like this, other party is going to say something else. So again, your ability to convince other people through points which make sense to them. Your points can be very intelligent and can be very well thought out, and in your mind they are excellent point, but if they don't resonate with the other, it's not going to work. And your points can be very simple, but if the audience is getting attracted by the points you are making, you will be able to motivate them. Yeah, it's very interesting pointer to reflect on. And the next one, fourth one, is low tolerance for change. Yeah, the tolerance, generally speaking, when people are resisting change, they have, one reason is that they have low tolerance to change. And you can reflect in your own life, how much tolerance you have, personally speaking, towards different type of changes, at in the school, different type of changes at work, in your home, different. When you have made a plan that this is how things should be done, and one of your family member comes with, or your friend comes with some other plan, how open you are to that change. Is a simple example, but it shows your tolerance level towards change. Are you someone, when you have made a plan, you stick with it and you say, no, this is how we are going to do it. If we are going there, then we are going there. If we are eating there, then we are eating there. Or sometimes you would change, but do you change happily, or you keep resentment? That is another thing, because people sometimes they have to accommodate their friends and family and whatever people they hang out with at work and so on, but are they doing it happily or not? That is also very important consideration when you are trying to change. When, please listen to this, uh, pay attention to this and reflect that, when very important consideration is when other people do something, you ask them to do something and then they do it what you ask them to do. In other words, they maybe change their behavior and you might be very happy about it, but take a moment to reflect that they did it happily or they did not do it happily. Because you might do something which I ask you to do, and then I would be happy that you did what I wanted you to do, but for a better relationship, I should also consider, think, reflect, observe, watch that are you happy about it or not. So eventually you want to master change management in such a way that when you are changing other people through your motivation, through work processes, through engagement, whatever tactics you are using, and when they change happily. They are happy about it. They are not sad about it. They don't feel forced or pressured, or that is what would be a good change. Yeah, because otherwise, if you enforce the change, yes, people will. Have you seen those videos which are going viral in Jamaica, where and in other countries also, about regular citizens who don't understand the importance of how we need to be careful in these times, COVID-19 times, and we need to watch the curfew and we need to follow the instructions, law enforcement, and all of those things. Have you seen those clips where regular people are fighting, abusing, using bad words with honorable police officers and so on across the world? I just said Jamaica because I saw a couple of clips the other night. Yes, they can be locked and they can be, the law is there and police can enforce it, of course, but people are not happy about it. So yes, but this is a different situation, because yes, now you and me can argue that why those people don't understand that this is curfew time. What is the problem? What is the problem? Different types of argument they are giving, that they say that in the morning COVID can walk, after 8 COVID cannot walk after 8. Different arguments they are saying, that COVID is impacting us in all the day is open, so it has attacked us already. If it had to attack, why stop at 8? Why the curfew is at 8? And so on. They are giving their own opinion on that, and we might not agree with that, but then this is how they think. So how to change the way of thought for those people? What are the things you are going to tell them? Can be very hard. Yeah, can be very, very hard, because for them, they are not understanding that why there should. And of course, it is a possibility that in our session there are some friends right now who don't understand why curfew should be 8. What is the problem? Yeah, and that is, I'm not debating the curfew time. What I am trying to debate is that whatever is the change which is being enforced, people will change, but you need to think that, are they changing with resentment, or they are okay with the change and they are happy about it? Especially in organizational settings, especially in the environment you are, please pay attention to this point also. But again, this point is very easy to talk about, but the reality of the things are very different, I feel, because in the organization you will have some policy, some strategy to do the things, and it is very hard to make everyone happy about it. Whatever change you are proposing, no matter how you craft it, not everyone is going to agree with that. That is not going to happen, and that is not we are trying to achieve even, because we understand that it is very difficult that all the people come on board. It is very difficult, but at least thinking about this, that people who are maybe not happy about the change, maybe giving them some pointers later on, or understanding their situation, or maybe a little talk, that okay, yes, I understand where you are coming from. I understand that you are, first of all, thank you very much that you are assisting in this change, but I observed and I feel that you are not 100% happy about it, and I understand that where you are coming from, and in the future I will see what I can do as the manager. I will see what I can do. Those type of words sometimes can help, but then you have to look at the individual, because they can backfire also, because the other person can say that you are just talking about these things. If you are really thinking about my emotions, you would not have forced me for this change, and so on. So people are very different. People are really very different. If you want to go in this field of change management and so on, you definitely have to have a very deep interest in psychology and human behavior. And let me say that not just for change management. Generally, if you want to be successful in life, in any field which you are going to take or you have taken, generally speaking, is understanding human behavior psychology is going to make a lot of difference in that. Yeah. Let's continue with the, for example, here expectancy theory and the motivation to support or resist change. Are going to look into it in your own time. Of course, they are talking about expectancies about the future and attractiveness of the outcome. Look at this. Expectancies about the future. What are you when you are trying to change, motivating other people to change, and so on? What are their expectations about the future? Because two different people can expect different things from from their future. So what are their expectations about the future? Managing expectations. And you can think about any situation in your life where your expectations were not met by work, by school, by family, by friends, anyone, where your expectations were not met. You had some expectations, they were not fulfilled. What happened there? Yeah. I'm sure all of us can relate with that. Like expectations about the future and then attractiveness of the outcome. The future, you are trying to show them that after this change, this will be the outcome. You will get this, you will gain this experience, your skills will improve, whatever you are trying to tell them as an outcome, how attractive that is for them. They will only help you in the change if that outcome is attractive to them. Again, this point is about self-interest, attractive to them, not to you, not to me, to the person who is going through the change. You ask someone to change this behavior and you tell them, if you will change, this will happen. Whatever you are telling them that this will happen, is that this will happen is attractive to them. It might be very attractive to you. Is it attractive to them? So again, you would have to see what interests that person, what moves them, what excites them, what is their passion, what is their dream. If you can understand those things about any human being, you can manage them to a reasonable extent. What is the definition of good friendship? Think about your friends. Are not your friends who understand your emotions very well? When you don't want to talk, they understand that the person don't want to talk, my friend don't want to talk. You don't want to explain them in long details. You tell them one or two lines and they understand what you mean. Even when you are quiet, from your body language and observing, they understand what are you going through and so on. Good friends. Yeah, so same thing is about this change management which we are trying to. You have to, if you can understand other people, not to that extent of course, but reasonably close, then you will be able to manage their expectations. You will be able to maybe use the words which will make more sense to them because you understand them. even when they are not saying something, they are silent, just like what happens in our friendships. And all these things are possible, but they just take a lot of time, a lot of practice, lot of patience. If someone can devote a lot of time, this can be very, at the end of the day, they gain valuable skills. Because think about it, if you can, if you can, if people do what you tell them to do, imagine what type of world you would be in. Just imagine for a day that there is a day in your life when whatever you are saying, people are doing that. I think we disconnected my connection when I said that. So what I'm trying to say is that anything you say, your family member, they say, okay, we'll do it like that. Your friends, they say, you say whatever you say yes, we'll do like that. At work, whatever you say, people do it like that. It is very much possible if you understand those people, that what is important to them, what excites them, how you should approach them when you are asking for whatever you are asking. Because generally in life we are asking for things, all of this is, if you think about it, all of this is linked with negotiation. If you think about it, all of these things are linked with negotiation. You are asking someone to do something. That is what it is. What is change? You are asking someone, motivating others to change. You are asking them to do thing like this or do it like that. What is that? It's negotiation. You are convincing them to do something. Like, it's a give and take many times. Unless you are in a position like I gave you example of law enforcement agencies who are trying to implement 8 o'clock curfew. That maybe there is not enough negotiation in that because they are enforcing law. But outside of that, generally life situations, it is give and take, speaking. So how to make negotiation successful? It is something which all of us take some time and interest to hone our skills to negotiate well. How to approach other person, that is what it is. How to tailor my pitch that the other person say yes to whatever I'm asking. And on negotiation, I can share my personal viewpoint with you, that I feel that if I ask someone to do something and they don't do that, it is not their fault. Something was wrong in my pitch. Something was wrong the way I approached. This is how I think. You can think the way you think. Like, the friends are sitting here. So let's say, Selena is there. So if I ask Selena to do something, Selena, do it like this, and she says, no, I'm not going to do it like that. Something is wrong in the way I approached her. Yeah, maybe my pitch was not perfect for her. I first need to understand that what are the things our friend like, what are the things she dislike, what excite her, all of those things which I have been talking about. Understand her personality, and after understanding, I make the pitch which she views as interesting in her self interest. So I don't just say whatever I have to say, or I don't say what I feel like saying, or I don't make the pitch that this is the perfect pitch, because there is no perfect pitch. Pitch is only perfect when it is tailored for the particular person. So by doing this, I would increase my chances that whoever I am speaking with, they listen to what I'm saying. Now this is possible, but it takes a lot of effort, energy to understand the personality. It's time consuming and so on. And many times organizations don't have that time to individually speak with the staff, individually speak with all workers, and then craft individual pitch and all of that. Very time consuming. And so in that situation, what other things you can do? Maybe having some type of personal relationship with your workforce, maybe that can help, depending on your situation, depending on your culture, because that again is, many things are linked with culture also. In some culture, the interaction is okay. In some other cultures, even a lot of interaction of employees with each other is not favored in some cultures. Yeah. In some cultures, after hours, you can go out and have lunch and spend time and whatever you want to do. But in other cultures, maybe that is not allowed. So many things are linked in this topic. Yeah. So I hope you will find couple of pointers, not going to think about all of them, but couple of pointers, and try to reflect and think about them. They have like these type of pictures you can look in your own time. I can take you through if you want, like figure 12.2 expectancy model. The effort you are going to exert, I tried to explain a while ago, that takes a lot of effort, and then the performance you are looking for, and then the outcome should be valued. If the outcome is not valued, then it's not going to work. Then motivation to support or resist change. Yeah. Yes, I was saying that either the motivation will be there to support the change, or it will be to resist the change. And then again, you will analyze, evaluate that should you put more effort, or you should redo some things, and so on. It is type of activity. Yeah. So I want to think about that. One section I really liked. I'm going to uh, bring it to your attention, so maybe you can also reflect on that. This section. In order to anticipate how stakeholders will feel about a change, it is necessary to empathize with them in order to construct a balance sheet of what we think they will perceive as gains or losses. Yeah. So some type of balance sheet, what they will perceive as gain and what they will perceive as loss, not us. How will they perceive? That is more important. It is not important what I am saying right now. What is, if I really want you to understand this topic, what is more important is that what are you taking individually from all the things which I am saying individually, because no two people sitting in the session now, they are not taking the same thing. We have like 17 people. Brittany is thinking about some other things as I'm talking about. Crystal is thinking about some other things. Paul is thinking about some other things. Yeah. So I'm saying the same thing, whatever I'm saying, but everyone is taking that very differently, because as I am talking, they are thinking about their life experiences, what makes sense to them, what does not make sense to them. It is highly likely that there are friends sitting in the session, and what I'm saying, they feel that they can't relate with that. Of course, there are many friends in the session, they say, yes, we can relate with that. But why that happens? Of course, the book is same, but why different people react to the same concept differently? Because their experiences are different. Everyone's experience is different. A person, for let's say, for example, for Andisha, it is very easy to motivate other people. Let's say that she's very good in motivating other people. Whatever she says, people listen to her. It is very rare that people don't do the things which she asks. So for her, this topic is like easy peasy. You say motivating other people, you just tell me, and no problem for her. So she's going to react to all of these very differently. On the other hand, there can be some other friends that they find it a challenge, that people are generally not doing the things the world is not moving the way they want the world to move. For them, they are is different for them. Yes. So that is why it is very important that how the other people are going to perceive. uh, Also because of perception. Yeah. The perception is another thing which we spoke about it a while ago, if you guys remember. Perception, management of perception, and so on. Yeah. And then continue looking at these lines. Different people value different outcomes, and even the same person may value different outcomes at different points in time. Please reflect on this line. It's very valuable. So first, different people are looking for different outcomes, different experiences. Different people are looking for different experiences. That is one. And even when they are looking for different experiences, the same person who like X in certain situation, they might not like X in another situation. Different points in time, these things change. Yeah. The more that we know about stakeholders, the better placed we will be to construct a balance sheet of their gains and losses. Extremely important line. The more that we know about stakeholders, the better placed we will be to construct a balance sheet of their gains and losses. Who are the stakeholders, the parties involved? Let me give you an example to link it with what I was saying before. So if you did not get it that time, I'm sure this time you will get it. I was talking about friends. Now think about, friends, like when other people cannot, sometimes, family members cannot convince us, and then they will try to convince us through our friends. Many times I have seen that happening, that mummy is not speaking with the daughter directly. She tried to tell the daughter that please do this, don't come late, please, by 12 reach home, and the daughter is saying, not listening, she want to enjoy life. Yes. So now the mummy is speaking with the daughter's friend and saying, please help me out in this. So now when the friend is going to tell her friend that we need to go at 12, then the girl is going to come home. Most likely. Because why? Because the friends know that what is a gain and what is a loss for my friend. How she is viewing the thing. The friends know that. Not saying that parents don't know that. Of course, parents also know what is happening with their children. I'm not trying to compare that friends are more close than parents. As a matter of fact, I would say that that is a sad state of life. If our friends are more closer than our parents, I would like to. I believe that if if we are not listening to our parents and listening more to our friends, it is not a good scenario. But I have seen these examples, so that is why it came to me and I shared it with you. And I'm sure we can relate with us that many times, it is just the wording, the way our friends are going to, because they understand us in a different uh, zone and different context, and we are out with them, of course. So then they can maybe influence us and bring us home at 12 or whatever. So please pay attention to these lines, these three lines here. And then, of course, try to think about these things. Nothing I said is binding at all. I'm just going through the chapter, trying to highlight what clicked with me. When you will read the chapter, different things are going to click to you. So you look at what clicks to you. Yes, what makes sense to you. That is what you should do. There is some exercises. Exercise, for example, you can look into these exercises if you have time and you have interest. There was one section which was looking at planning and those type of things. I think I would like to bring your attention to that. Um, of course, you have to read all of these things, but you know, I think I have shared my thoughts with you as much as I could. It's now your job to think about that. So, for example, these possible actions. Yeah, it's very interesting. Some possible actions they are saying. The change agent may be able to reduce resistance from this source by doing couple of things. They are talking about planning, they are talking about persuading, and they are talking about participation, different type of areas in that. So essentially, because this chapter is about motivating other people to change, then of course more planning would be required. Not saying that when we are doing when we are motivating ourselves to change, less planning is required, but it is of course as we come out of our domain, our own personality, then other people's personality, many times we don't understand the other person's personality. Even when we understand what they want now, they might not want that same thing after a week, after a month, after a year. And I'm sure all of us can relate with this. You when you like someone, when you are falling head over heels for someone in that early stage, you really want them, you desire them differently, because you never had them, so you really want them, you are craving for them. And then after some time, after 1 month, after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years, after 5 years, if you can last that long, things generally speaking, things change. Not for everyone, of course, but and even people who are together, let's say after 5 years, two people are together. If they can recall the excitement, the butterflies in the stomach, and all of those things which were there in the first time, they don't remain same uh, as the time passes. I'm not saying the love is going to fade away. No, no, not at all. The experience will be different. The initial experience will be different. after time it's different. So why is that? It's the same people. Why is that? Because people, this is what the uh, as a matter of fact, I was listening to this scholar, and it was like earlier this week I was listening to this, and she said something very nice, very interesting. She said that sometimes we are like overhyping the change, but if you look around, the days are changing. Even as we are speaking, every second is changing. The seasons change. We don't pay attention to this thing, but everything is changing. Even our what changes are happening to our body cells and our skin cells, we are not even aware of. We are not like looking at them continuously. What changes have taken in our body since 1 hour, 2 hour ago we started talking about this thing. We don't even think about that. So change is, she was saying that yes, change is also, it's just part of life. And then if we can have the right mindset towards that, I explained you the mindset part earlier in our today's discussion. If we can get these two things correct in the mindset, then of course it can benefit. Okay, let's look at this very interesting resistance and the need to motivate people to change. So one is resistance and the need, why we should care to motivate other people to change. When you will read this section, you will get some insight into that. I'm sure you already got some insight things which I have been saying, but still it is good to read the section. This section is important. Please read it in your time, but I'm going to highlight couple of things from this, but don't just look at the highlighted sections. Um Read the chapter in detail, because that would make more sense to you. How change strategies can be designed to motivate individuals and groups to change. Yeah. For example, one friend was talking about this here in our discussion. Yeah. So how change strategies can be designed to motivate individuals and groups to change. How to design those strategies. I'm sure you will be very interested in knowing this, that what are the things you should keep in mind and how you should go about this. So Cotter and his colleague identify 6 methods for dealing with the resistance to change. 6 methods. So of course you are going to read them in detail, but let me highlight them very quickly. Education and persuasion. Education, like what we are doing now, is type of education. I am educating you from what I know. You are educating me when you participate in comments or through uh, through your voice. You give your point of view on things. So it is education. Persuasion, that is what we are trying to so that is important. It provide a rational justification for action. Provide a rational justification, yeah, for action, whatever action we are going to take. Yeah. So when you are dealing with resistance to change, how to deal with resistance to change? 6 techniques by Cotter and his colleague. Number 1 is education and persuasion. Yeah. For example, look at this one. More effective ways of motivating people to change is to expose or create a feeling of dissatisfaction with the current state. Yeah, very interesting. Most effective way of motivating people to change is to expose or create a feeling of dissatisfaction with the current state. Dissatisfaction. You are dissatisfied with your life. You are dissatisfied with your with your room, with your financial position, from your work, from your job, from your school. You are dissatisfied. When you are dissatisfied, then that the emotions which will be triggered because of dissatisfaction, unhappiness, not comfortable. That is one of the most effective ways which is going to motivate people when they are not happy with what is going on. And you would see this across the world in different type of movements where people come on road, people come out government policies, people come out about institutions policies, people protest to their organizations, whatever, different situations. Locally you can look, internationally you can look anywhere you want. What is that? People are dissatisfied, not happy. If you really want to change, bring the change, you bring some type of dissatisfaction in yourself. Like you want to, like how will you improve your grades? If you are getting 70s, how you will go to 90? How? If you are getting 70s, generally speaking, how are you going to go into 90s or top 80s? How? One very, according to this line which is highlighted, easy way is that you are dissatisfied with your set 70. You are dissatisfied. You are not happy. You are not happy with your 70. You can't sleep. You can't do any activity. You are very unhappy. You don't like 70. Say, what is this? I need more. Although other people are struggling to pass, there are some friends who, if they get a 50, they are going to celebrate. They are going to party that we pass the course. Yes, happy. But you get 70, are dissatisfied, very unhappy. And then that is going to, then that those emotions which will be triggered in you, that you are unhappy, you are not liking it, then you will come up with a strategy which will eventually take you to whatever you want to achieve. Because when you are unhappy, what will happen? Are you going to listen to songs and watch Netflix? And no, you're not going to do that. You're not happy about something. Your focus is gone into that thing now. You're going to put all the energy and all the motivation into bringing some happiness from that. Generally speaking, I want to share an example with you here. It happened like maybe 2 years ago, but I I could not forget it. It stayed in my mind how strong it was. So we had a midterm exam in the same course, and midterm exam, and it was 20 marks MCQs. It is before COVID, so we used to have midterm exam MCQs 20 marks. And I released the in the session, I came in and I gave them the papers, on because they did it in the hard copy, and I marked it on this, so I returned it to them, and if they want to look at it on, and then they can return it to me. But anyways, when I submitted those papers to them, returned to them, there is one girl sitting in the front. She saw her grade. Before the grades, she had kind of smile, or even when I came, I remember that, you exchange, hello, what's up, everything is fine. She looked normal, she was fine. And as the paper came in her hand, her expressions changed. She became like very furious, and her eyeballs came out, and she's not looking happy at all. And then other people in the class, they are like, some people were saying, oh, I passed, thank God, and they are happy and laughing. 10 people who got 12, 13, they are happy, all of that. And this girl is not happy. And then I gave a little break, and she comes to me and she says, this is my paper, and what is this? And I look at her paper. Of course, she did not say it like this, but she was like, what I'm trying to say, she was not happy about it. So very nice girl, good girl, studious and everything, and participating in discussion. Nothing is wrong with her. So she says that, what is this? And I look at her paper, and you know what was the score? Score was she got 19 out of 20. 19. 19 out of 20. Just 1 mark she got wrong. Just 1 mark. One person got 20 out of 20, and I think 2 people got 19 out of, it was 100 people in the class. She's, of course, she's smart, she's one of the top, but she said she don't like it. What happened to this MCQ? Why I did not get it right? Now you can view it differently. Different people will view it very differently. Some people will say she is not thankful. Some people would say she's trying to be difficult. Different people will look at it very, very different. But how did she perform in the next one, which was again 20 out of 20? The coursework was 40. She got in the next one, she got 20 out of 20. So what I'm trying to say, that although she got 19 out of 20, and when I saw the paper, resaw the paper, and I said to her that you did very well. There is don't worry at all about it. That is what I said, and I felt it like that. But she did not felt like that. And in the next one, she, of course, tried even harder, and she was able to achieve 20 out of 20 in the next one. What was that? That although she was not happy with 19. So for you and me, 19 can be something where we can throw a treat to our friends. But for her, it was not the thing. This is now linked with various things, like the perception, how people are perceiving different things. It might be very high for you. For her, it was not high. And this is what happened in reality. And I could not forget it, although 2 years are gone, but it's very interesting that how someone would create a feeling of dissatisfaction with something which is very high. So look at this line: expose or create a feeling of dissatisfaction. Current state. So current state was 19 out of 20, but she created a feeling of dissatisfaction, and then she went all out for that. Yeah. You can reflect on it, and you can reflect on in your own life stories. I gave you a story of someone else. Maybe you can relate, maybe you cannot relate with that, but now think about your own experiences where you created or you saw someone create some feeling of dissatisfaction with the current state, and then they worked hard. As a matter of fact, let me say that all the people who achieve something big, phenomenal in their life, somewhere along the lines, they have created some type of dissatisfaction from the current state. A person who is born in a poor household, if they become rich, one of the reason is that they were not satisfied in that house. On the other hand, you would see that people are living in poor communities generation after generation. So they are satisfied with that. For them, they have accepted that reality, whatever it is. But for someone else, they are going to be dissatisfied and then work. And now I don't mean that you get dissatisfied and you will achieve the the what you want. Maybe you will, maybe you will not. Just getting dissatisfied is not enough. Then you would have to find out where you lack and then work hard, and then so many other factors are also involved. Your persistency and your motivation, of course, and your personality, all those things are linked. But essentially one of the effective ways is this one, as we try to discuss. And or getting dissatisfied without, please pay attention to that, getting dissatisfied without criticism and blame. You don't like start criticizing other people and putting blame on other people, that whatever. You take responsibility of what has happened and you say, all right, these are the cards I am dealt with, but I'm dissatisfied with that, I'm not happy with this. You are not becoming bad mind about that. You are just not satisfied with that, and now you are not becoming negative about that. You are just dissatisfied. So now you are going to work on it. How can you get what you want? That is what it is, without getting negative about all of this. So this is one, education and persuasion. Second one is participation and involvement. Involve them in the collection, analysis, and presentation of information. In earlier chapters, in one of the chapters, we were talking about data, how that helps in minimizing resistance. You can think about that. Uh, however, uh, however, it can be very time consuming. And if those who are involved have less technical expertise than the change initiators, it can result in a change plan that is not as good as it might be. Yes, can think about that. Then facilitation and support, we have been talking about this one every now and then, how important is the support mechanism and so on. You can look at this highlighted section. They suggest that this might involve the provision of training in new skills, giving time off after a demanding period, or simply listening and providing emotional support. In one of the earlier discussions, we did speak about training. I asked you to look into that literature. Please do that. Another pointer which is one of the method for dealing with resistance to change. We are just looking at 6 methods for dealing with resistance to change. Number 1, education and persuasion, then participation and involvement, then facilitation and support. Next one would be negotiation and agreement. Just a while ago, I shared some of my thoughts about negotiation, if you can recall. Then they are going to talk about manipulation and co-option. Let's look at that. Please pay attention to this highlighted section. Co-opting usually involves giving an individual or group leader a desirable role in the design or implementation of the change. A desirable role. Of course, the role is desirable by that person. The aim is not to seek access to any expertise they may have, rather it is to secure their endorsement. You're bringing in people on board, yeah, that many times can be very helpful. Yes. So of course you need support from staff, support from people who are working, support from people who are well respected. This is one of the technique you can use. And then and this is number 6. Direction and a reliance on explicit and implicit coercion. Yeah. So please pay attention to these few lines here. Coercive strategies involve change managers their power to grant hold valued outcomes in order to motivate people to change. These are coercive strategies, and you can think about these things. People who are in power, they sometimes would give you, grant you what you value, and sometimes they will withhold what you may want, depending on how they want you to behave. A simple example can be, parents, like parents, children. If you do this, I will give you iPad. If you don't do this, if you don't study these hours, then your iPad will be taken from you. Those type of things. What is that? That can fall under this, loosely speaking. But to read in detail. While the result may be a willingness to comply and go along with the change targets committed to the change may be low. Yeah. And in some situations where you really need people to take actions quickly with speed, I think these coercive strategies can work, because you are going to withhold the things which people might want, and because they want those things, then they will do what you are saying, because they want those things, whatever you are withholding. It can be a thing, it can be approval, it can be good words, it can be anything. Yeah. So these are 6 ways, 6 methods for dealing with resistance to change, according to Cotter and his colleague. Number 1, education and persuasion. Number 2, participation and involvement. Then facilitate and support, and negotiation, agreement, very important. If you can negotiate well, can always minimize the resistance. Manipulation, and then coercive strategies. Of course, there are so many other methods which you should, based on your own experiences of life, whenever you were facing or you saw uh, people dealing with resistance to change, uh, what were they doing? Let me ask you very quickly, what is coming to your mind if you are, and this is a question for you guys, please see if you can participate. If you are dealing with some type of resistance to change, I'm sure in your life you have gone through some type of resistance every now and then. So what can be done in those situations? How to minimize resistance to change? A simple question. Can anyone give us some techniques which can be incorporated to reduce the resistance to change, any type of change, any type of resistance? What should be done in your viewpoint? What should be done to minimize the resistance? Yeah, anything you can say from your experience would be nice. We have like around 20 people, so I'm sure a couple of people can say a couple of things. Yeah, please go ahead. Any thoughts? How to minimize resistance? When you are facing resistance to change, what can you do? Yeah. So Nikki saying maybe motivate. Yeah. Motivation. Yes. And that was today's topic, motivation. We spoke about that in detail. What else? Anything which is maybe we did not discuss it, or I was unable to say it and you did not see it very clearly in the book also. Any strategy you can think about which we did not maybe speak about, and that can help in minimizing the resistance other people. Relationship building, for example, having good relationship with the people. and you would have good relationship with people. When you will ask for a favor, they might want to help you. If they cannot help you directly to minimize the resistance, maybe they will find some outside help, and that can be one. Yeah. What else? Okay. So clearly you guys are not motivated in giving the giving the giving the pointers, because the resistance is very high for you to maybe speak something or maybe type something. The resistance level is higher than maybe to incorporate your points. But please think about these things. Okay. Okay, all right. So some people are woke up. Thank you very much. Good to see that you guys are not sleeping. Okay, so Kim is saying communicate the change. Very important. Communicate it very well. Thanks for this point, Kim. Uh, Communication is something which is, of course, is going to remain key in all different type of change situation. Communicate why we want this type of change. What is the reason? What is in this change? Help us in this change. What will you gain? What is in your self-interest? Make your communication in such a way, and communicate in a way which is useful for that party, which that party appreciate. So you would have to understand the personalities, what do they desire, and then move from there. So communication is going to be very important. And then Paul is just reiterating that point, that improve communication. That is how important it is. You might have great strategy, you might have great ideas in your mind, but if you cannot communicate it in a way that people, the audience, can relate with those, then it's not going to work. A lot of sometimes we just start saying things, we just start speaking without thinking, and we are trying to convince someone that change. Let's say we are trying to convince someone, and are trying to convince someone to change, and when they don't do the things as we told them, we start getting angry, we start getting frustrated, we say, why you cannot do this simple thing, it is so simple, what is the problem, all of those things. Start doing that. So is that improved communication? Yeah, maybe it is not. Yeah. So very important to think about that. And then Curtis is talking about negotiation, yeah, and coercion also. Yeah. So negotiate. Please read some things on negotiation, how to negotiate, what are the things, how to make people say yes. Yeah. How to just run a Google search and read on this. How to make people say yes. Whatever you are saying, how to make others say yes. There are some very nice books on this. Yeah. Please read on. Uh, because generally it is going to help you no matter where you go in your life. It is going to help you if the negotiation. And then of course Kim is talking about trust factor. Again, you might want to read some things on this trust, how to increase other parties trust. So your strategy might not work with everyone for trust, but if you read on these things, then maybe a couple of people might help you in the change you want to bring. And generally speaking, you just need couple of people. You many times you don't need all the people, because there are some people who are just going to do the things as told. There are some people who are going to, if they start doing the thing, other people will also follow. There is a story about rain, the first drop of rain, that comes hard, but then afterwards, then people start thinking about it, just like what happened in the session. Nikki started the first. No one was really thinking we should, of course all of these things, but you just thought that, oh, we know it and let's not share the thoughts. And then Nikki just said motivation, and then Kim came in, and then Paul came in, and then other friends came in. Yes. So they sometimes that is going to happen. So you, in the earlier phase of change, you definitely need some people, some people who are going to support you in that change within the organization, within the department. If you have those confidants, then maybe they can start the process, and then through them the 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 process might become a little easier. Yes, I think that is enough. Please think about all these things. They should keep you busy. You don't have to think about all the things which we spoke about, but but at least few things you should think and reflect, not for exam purposes or anything, just for a better understanding, because the topic is very important, and that is why we spend considerable amount on this chapter, motivating others to change. There are so many things which we can keep on talking about, but I think that is a good start. Now it is on you to reflect, think about these things. And if you want to discuss something more, uh, you can make the pointers now, or as you will think about these things during the term, you can always reach me out. But please think about this thing, motivating others to change. If you can motivate other people to say yes to what you are saying, that would be a wonderful skill, and it will help you in change management and